Fox News alert on Hurricane Irma. We are awaiting an update any minute now from Florida Governor Rick Scott on that. We'll take that live news conference for you as soon as it happens. This is the most powerful hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic, folks. It's barreling across the Caribbean, already killing at least 10 people and causing massive destruction across the Caribbean. Right now, mandatory evacuation orders also in effect in some parts of Florida, where Irma appears to be headed next. Let's bring in Florida Senator Bill Nelson. Thank you very much, Senator, for talking to us. This is an emergency of mass proportions. You were in Miami and in West Palm Beach yesterday meeting with local emergency management officials in each county ahead of the storm. How do you believe it's going there?
It is chaos now on the roads. People are trying to flee, and the problem now is gasoline. So we contacted FEMA last night, said you got to get gasoline supplies in because people are running out on the streets, on the interstates. They go to the gas stations and the gas stations are closed. It just compounds to all of what is happening.
And yesterday, you also sent letters to Senators Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell, and what you're actually calling on Congress to do, and it was no surprise that the House went ahead and passed that $7.85 billion disaster aid package to help with Harvey relief. But you say that Congress needs to actually account for the additional costs that FEMA will likely incur responding to Hurricane Irma. And then there's these other two storms that are right now churning in the Atlantic. In Houston, the governor there says they could be facing some $180 billion in damage. I mean, how much more federal aid do you believe is needed to account for all of this?
FEMA is stretched.
Yeah.
They're having to pull people out of Texas. The supplies are needed not only in Texas, but are going to be needed in Florida, and of course gas immediately. And so this $15 billion package, and it's doubled, is a first start, but there will be a long way down the road that there'll have to be a lot more money for both Florida and Texas. What we have is this will just get us for the next 2 or 3 months.
You know, already this has been the most expensive year ever in hurricane relief. You touched earlier about price gouging, and that is unfortunately something we see after every natural disaster, from gasoline to even airline prices. What is the state of Florida doing now? I mean, not only is there the fear of gasoline prices, which, by the way, we're going to be talking to Pam Bondi later, who is got a hotline out for anybody who notices any price gouging, which is illegal, by the way. But the shortage of gasoline, because earlier we were showing Route 1 that's out of the Keys. Now, the Keys have been under a mandatory evacuation order, and so it's just a line of cars getting out of there, but they can't get out unless they fill up their gas tanks. Is there enough gasoline to go around for all these evacuees?
The answer is no, and that's why I say that yesterday I contacted FEMA to get gas supplies in. Now, on the gouging, as a matter of fact, we've contacted the Federal Trade Commission and said, you've got to watch it like a hawk, because some people will take advantage of it. Let me say on the airlines, I'm very proud of the airlines. Most of them, when there were initial reports of gouging on ticket prices, most of them have brought it down to $99 for fleeing, and JetBlue is the one who led the way yesterday.
And that's excellent, because there were stories of some airlines that were, in fact, inflating costs. And then once they were called on it, thank God for the internet, because it really does hold these companies, responsible for potential price gouging. There's also some warnings also for people using portable generators and carbon monoxide, because a lot of these people are going to be losing electricity. That is nonetheless going to happen for those who don't evacuate. What are the warnings for Floridians or anyone who's in the path of this storm?
Well, that's a killer as well. People don't realize these generators, if left inside, they can produce the carbon monoxide, and suddenly they succumb to it. That happened several deaths over the last couple of years with regard to storms. And therefore, we have come back in to the federal government, asked them to alert, give the extra warnings about the generators so people will beware and won't be lulled into what is a permanent sleep.
All right.
Death.
Well, something that everybody needs to be aware of, because most people, a lot of people have these generators. They rely on them for electricity when they are out, sometimes for weeks. Senator Ben Nelson, thank you very much for talking to us. Appreciate it, sir.
Thanks.